So in this video, we will be reviewing the very start of World War I, and we'll be focusing on the countries that became involved from the very beginning. So yesterday, I told you about countries that became involved with the war starting in 1914, which was when the war started, up until the year 1915. But later on, we had a country come in the year 1917. I will also include that country today. So let me show you this. I have this whiteboard here that says countries that fought in World War I, and I have a blank versus blank. So as we go through here, you will see the countries that fought each other in World War I as time went on. So the very start of World War I began with a country called Austria-Hungary. Now, Franz Ferdinand was the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, meaning that he would soon be emperor to that country. He would soon be the ruler of that country. Now, Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie were being driven to Bosnia. They were going down to a place called Bosnia. Bosnia had recently been taken over by Austria-Hungary. It had been annexed by Austria-Hungary. Now, this made many people in a country called Serbia unhappy. So Serbia is just to the south of Austria-Hungary, and it's right near Bosnia. And the people in Serbia were unhappy because Serbia is mostly Slavic. The ethnicity of the people that live in Serbia, both back then and today, are mostly Slavic people. And the Slavic people wanted to expand. They wanted Slavic countries to become more of a factor in the region. And so they were unhappy that Austria-Hungary took over Bosnia. Bosnia was a Slavic country. And when Austria-Hungary took it over, there were many unhappy people in Serbia. One of the unhappy people was named Gavrilo Princip. So he is a 19-year-old Serbian nationalist. And when he noticed that Franz Ferdinand's motorcade was driving through Bosnia, he shot and killed both Franz Ferdinand and his wife. Now, this led to Austria-Hungary declaring war on Serbia. Austria-Hungary had heard that Serbia had supplied the gun to Gavrilo Princip, and so that led to Austria-Hungary eventually declaring war on Serbia. And this occurred on July 28, 1914. So as of July 28, 1914, this is what the war looked like. We had Austria-Hungary versus Serbia. Now, you'll remember that I was talking about alliance systems and how countries will join together for specific purposes. Take a look at this, or take a listen to this. So, Serbia was very friendly with Russia. Russia had a lot of Slavic people living there, and so Russia supported the expansion of the Slavic people. And so it liked what Serbia was going for. On the other side, Austria-Hungary was friendly with Germany. So this is what happened. Russia started sending its troops to the border of Austria-Hungary. So the troops never entered the country, but Russian troops were sent to the border of Austria-Hungary right after Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia also sent its troops to the border of Germany, since it knew that Austria-Hungary was friends with Germany. So, in return, Germany, since it saw that Russia was sending troops to its border, Germany declared war on Russia. Let me see if I can find my Russia flag here. Hold, please. Oh, there it is. So Russia was on the floor here. I picked it back up. So Germany declared war on Russia. So now we have a situation that looks like this. We have Austria-Hungary and Germany fighting Serbia, and Russia. Now remember, you declare war on one country, and you're also declaring war on its allies. So the war looked just like this. And this was on August 1st, 1914, when Germany declared war on Russia. So as of August 1st, 1914, the war looked like this. Now, Germany was really stirring things up at that time because it didn't stop there. It didn't stop with its declaration of war on Russia. It also decided to declare war on France. So on August 3rd, 1914, a couple days after it declared war on Russia, Germany declared war on France. Now, France had some issues with Germany. A long time ago, Germany had taken over a beloved region of France, and France wanted that back, and Germany knew about it. So Germany figured that France would eventually be engaging in war with it, and so it decided to go ahead and declare war on France as well. Now, this was sort of a crazy idea because on one side of Germany, you'll see France. And on the other side of Germany, you'll see Russia. So now Germany was essentially surrounded by its enemies. So this was a sort of a risky and wild decision made on Germany's part. So what Germany planned to do, it planned on attacking France first. It figured it could defeat France quicker than it could defeat Russia. So Germany came up with a plan where it would attack France first, and then it would attack Russia. But in order to attack France, Germany just couldn't cross the border into France. Germany and France shared a border, but France had such strong fortifications along its borders that Germany could not cross into it. So Germany had to go through another country called Belgium. It had to go through Belgium in order to get through France. Now, this was a problem. There was a treaty signed before this war where it said that Belgium should remain neutral in times of war and conflict. This was because the leaders of the time wanted to leave a safety zone in between Germany and the rest of Europe. Germany had been stirring up some bad feelings at the time, and so the countries of Europe wanted a safety zone between it and Germany. So France wanted that safety zone, Great Britain wanted the safety zone, and that safety zone was Belgium, since Belgium was right between them. So the treaty called for Belgium to be a neutral country in times of war, to not get involved, so that Belgium wouldn't get taken over and have any risk of bad things happening to it. But Germany ignored this treaty and sent its troops through Belgium anyways. This was a huge problem, and it was the biggest problem for Great Britain. Great Britain had docks and piers in Belgium. So you can see how close Belgium is to Great Britain in this image here. So Great Britain had many ports, docks, and piers. Now, ports, docks, and piers are used to dock ships. Great Britain had the use of ships in order to bring its supplies to Europe. Remember, Great Britain was a huge manufacturer, so it was delivering supplies to Europe, and it was also taking resources from the countries of Europe in order to make those supplies. So Belgium was a really important country for Great Britain's purposes. And Great Britain feared that if Germany had completely taken over Belgium, that it would lose all of those good ports that it had, all of those good places to dock its trade ships. So this, in return, resulted in Great Britain declaring war on Germany. So this was August 4th, 1914, that Great Britain declared war on Germany. And so now the war looks like this. Pretty unbalanced, right? We have on one side Serbia, Russia, France, and Great Britain. And on the other side, we just have Austria-Hungary and Germany. Well, as time went on, more countries would come and join these sides. So eventually, Germany, Austria-Hungary would win over the support of the Ottoman Empire as well as Bulgaria. All right, these were countries within that region. And as time went on, Japan and Italy would decide to join the side of Serbia, Russia, France, and Great Britain, as you can see here. So the countries that you see here all joined the war between the summer of 1914 and the end of 1915. As you can see, this is a pretty significant number of countries that were going to war with each other. Now, later on, a different country would come in, and you're very familiar with this country because you lived there. So in 1917, the United States decided to join the war. And the reason why the United States joined the war is because Germany kept attacking its ships. Now, the United States was a neutral country at this time, but Germany was still attacking it because it was friendly with Great Britain, which was an enemy to Germany. So since Germany kept attacking American ships, America declared war on Germany and all its allies. So now we have America, the United States over here. And these are the countries that fought in World War I. Now they gave each sides of the battle names. On this side of the battle, we have the Central Powers. They call them the Central Powers because they're centrally located in Europe. So I'm going to write that there so you can see the word Central Powers. So they call this side the Central Powers. All right, I've written it here. We have the Central Powers here, which consist of Austria-Hungary, Germany, Ottoman Empire, and Bulgaria. And then over here, we have the Allies. They call this group the Allies. A-L-L-I-E-S. So that's what the sides were named. We had the Central Powers and the Allies. And these are the countries that were involved in World War I. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to review the rest of the slides in this slideshow. It contains a little bit more information that I want you to be knowledgeable of. And then there will be a worksheet associated with this, so make sure you complete that. Now, be sure to message me if you have any questions at all on Google Hangouts. I'll probably post a video at the end of this too. I haven't really decided yet, but you may see a video at the end of this just as supplemental material that gives you some interesting information about World War I. But I'll post in the directions about who I want to watch that video. Some of you guys will be catching up with work that you've fallen behind on, and some of you will be watching the video. So just see the post. All right? Remember, message me if you have any questions.